Hello my friend and welcome back to Survival Superhero. In this video I am going to show you a new 64 megapixel night vision rugged phone, new 5G rugged phones with Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 chipsets that no one is talking about, lots of new rugged phones with very unique designs, plus 4 new rugged phones that are launching at huge discounts, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know to get these low prices. Now you can check the description and the pinned comment below for links to each of these phones to get more information or to purchase one. And now let's get straight into this video, starting with something that no one is talking about. Number 7, we've got new 5G Snapdragon 4 Gen 2 phones coming from Sonim. Sonim said these new 5G rugged devices will be high quality and affordable, and they will also be made to fit in everywhere from construction sites to the boardroom. Now this definitely sounds very interesting, so we'll have to keep our eyes out for these coming sometime in 2024. Next up at number 6, we have got the Ulefone Armor 22. Now this thing is going to have 64 megapixel night vision. And there actually are not many other 64 megapixel night vision rugged phones out there. Now there are some like the Doogee S99 and the ETH 150 Raptor, but those do not have the Night Elf Ultra 2.0 algorithm that comes with the Armor 22, which Ulefone says makes for sharper and clearer images in low light. Ulefone recently added the Armor 22 to their website, and we don't yet have a release date, but so far Ulefone says it's going to come with 8GB of RAM and either 128 or 256 GB of internal storage. It's going to have a 6.58-inch FHD plus 120Hz display, 64 megapixel main camera, 64 megapixel night vision, 6,600 mAh battery, and it will run Android 13 and have an infrared blaster. Now that is all that we know for now, but that definitely sounds pretty exciting. Next up at number 5, we have got the Oukatel WP27. Now this device was just recently added to Oukatel's official AliExpress store with no release date, but right off the bat, it does look a lot like the WP17. Released back in October 2021, the WP17 was Oukatel's first rugged phone with a more aesthetic design that had rugged features, but it looked more like a regular smartphone. Now, one interesting thing here is that Oukatel lists 2 different versions of the WP27. There's the standard version, and then there's a whole separate listing for the WP27RU, which has a camouflage design. Some of the specs listed for the WP27 include a Helio G99 chipset, 12GB of RAM, and an 8,300 mAh battery. Now the WP27 looks almost identical to the WP17, so while it would be safe to assume that this would be an upgraded version of the WP17, it does look like some of the specs may actually be a downgrade. For example, the WP17 had a 64 megapixel main camera, while the WP27 is listed as having a 48 megapixel main camera. The WP17 had a 6.78-inch display, while the WP27 is listed as having a 6.6-inch display. So we will just have to wait and see what all the specs are when Oukatel makes an official announcement, but I'm pretty sure they are not going to release a phone that's worse than the previous model, right? Now the WP27 is currently priced at $400, but it will probably release at a lower price, and you can hit the link below to check that out. Okay, now let's talk about 4 new phones that we do have all the info about. Now all 4 of these next phones have a special sale going on starting August 21st. Starting with number 4, the Ulefone Armor X13. Now, Ulefone is calling this a quote, skip level experience, so they're basically letting us know that they are cranking things up a notch. The X13 has the biggest display and the best camera that we have seen in the entire Armor X series, and it is also the first model that adopts a brand new night vision camera and the Night Elf 2.0 algorithm that we briefly talked about earlier with the upcoming Armor 22. The X13 has got a unique diamond design that we haven't seen before, and it gives it more of a luxury style. It's got 2 infrared LEDs and a 24 megapixel night vision camera with Night Elf 2.0 algorithm to give it clearer images. It runs on the Helio G36 chipset with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage, expandable to 256GB. And it's got a triple card slot so you can run dual SIM cards and a micro SD card at the same time. It's got a 6.52-inch HD Plus display, a 50 megapixel main camera that can shoot up to 1080p video at 30 FPS, and it's got a 6,320 mAh battery, and it is IP68, IP69K dust proof, and water resistant for 30 minutes underwater 1.5 meters deep. And it is also military standard 810H with 1.5 meter drop resistance and can survive 24 hours buried in concrete 1 meter deep. Now, the Armor X13 is priced at $400, but you can get it for just $128 starting August 21st on Ulefone's official AliExpress store. Hit the links in the description below to get this low price. Next up at number 3, we've got the Ulefone Armor X12 Pro. Now, this mid-range rugged phone has a unique X checkered racing flag design, and it's made to fit easily in just one hand. It runs Android 13 on a Helio G36 chipset with 4GB of RAM and 64GB internal storage, expandable up to 256GB, and it also has a 3-card slot, so you can run dual nano SIM cards and a micro SD card at the same time. It's got a 5.45-inch HD Plus display running at 720 by 1440 resolution. It's got a 13 megapixel main camera that can shoot 1080p at 30 FPS, and it's got a 4,860 mAh battery. Now, it is both IP68, IP69K dust proof and water resistant for 30 minutes underwater 1.5 meters deep, as well as military standard 810H with 1.5 meter drop resistance. Now, the Armor X12 Pro is priced at $300, but you can get it for only $108 starting August 21st on Ulefone's official AliExpress store. Check the description below for a direct link so you can get this low price. Next up at number 2, we have got the FuzzyBot F102. With a release date of August 21st, 2023, the FuzzyBot F102 features a 3-watt camping light with 300 LED lights that shine up to 495 lumens. It's also got dual stereo speakers, and it's got a 20 megapixel Sony IMX350 night vision camera that can take clear photos even in pitch black up to 45 meters away. It's got a Helio G99 chipset with 12GB of RAM and 256GB internal storage, expandable up to 2TB. It has also got a 6.58-inch 120Hz FHD Plus display running at 1080 by 2408 resolution, and it's also got a 108 megapixel main camera on the back. Now, the FuzzyBot F102 has got a giant 16,500 mAh battery with 33 watt fast charge that charges from 0 to 100 in 4 hours. And it is IP68, IP69K dust proof and water resistant, as well as military standard 810H. Now, the FuzzyBot F102 is priced at $290, but You can get it for just $170 on AliExpress if you're one of the first 500 people to buy it on August 21st. Hit the link in the description below to check that out or to purchase one. And now at number 1, we have got the Doogee S110. With a release date of August 21st, the S110 was designed to be a significant upgrade to Doogee's S series of rugged phones, featuring upgrades to the camera, the chipset, the operating system, appearance, and adding a second display to the back. Designed more like a luxury watch than the car interior look that the S100 had going, the S110 features a second 1.09-inch display on the back with the cameras arranged around it. Now, the secondary display is customizable and you can use it for things like a compass, to check the time, control media playback, check your notifications, your battery level, and more. Now, it runs on Android 13 with a Helio G99 chipset, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and 256 gigabytes internal storage, expandable up to 2 terabytes. It's got a 6.58-inch 120Hz FHD Plus IPS water drop display running at 1080 by 2408 resolution, and it's got a 50 megapixel Sony IMX766 main camera plus 24 megapixel night vision. Now, the previous S100 model did have a 108 megapixel main camera with Samsung HM2 sensor, but the 50 megapixel Sony IMX766 is actually a better sensor and especially works better in low light. The S110 also has a 10,800 mAh battery with 66 watt fast charge and OTG reverse charging. And it is IP68, IP69K dust proof and water resistant, as well as military standard 810H. You can get the S110 on Doogee's website for $350 at the time of this video, but that price could go down. Hit the links in the description below to get the most current price or to purchase one. So, what do you think of these new phones? Do you prefer the S110 over the S100? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please share this video if you have found it helpful, and then you can click right here for another great rugged smartphone video, and I will see you there.